Hey everybody, Shane Chastain. Welcome back to 3MG TV. Today we're going to talk about one of the most maybe overused and least talked about pieces of gear for musicians, and that is your automobile. So I don't know about you guys, but I haven't found this musician thing to be a very work-from-home sort of business. And there tends to not be much coverage on what to buy and what to think about when you're trying to figure out what you're going to use to get you and the rest of your goons in the band and all of your gear to and from the places you got to play. So today, we're going to talk about what kind of cars are good and what kind of cars are bad for moving your stuff and yourself to and fro. Now, practicality is going to be the name of the game in this. And so to start off, we're going to start with the least practical cars and work our way to the most practical cars, in my opinion. First, the absolute least practical that you can get are sports cars and convertibles. You can't fit anything in them. If your name is Justin Timberlake, you probably don't have to take anything to the gig, and that's fine. Get yourself a Ferrari and have fun. The rest of us, though, are going to need a little bit more storage than that. The next least practical car that you can use for this, and this one will probably get the comments going, is a pickup truck. Now you think, but a pickup truck's made for hauling. It's got a bunch of space. It's got a bed. All our stuff is sensitive to moisture, people. And some of it is light and attractive to thieves. And so a pickup's not going to do you much good. If you've got to play 2 hours away, you may drive through rain. Or maybe foggy. Everything may get damp. And that's going to mess up your stuff. Not to mention, as soon as you stop anywhere, God forbid you got to stay in a hotel room, people are just going to take your stuff. On the truck thing, you've no doubt thought that you could do a camper shell or a bed cover, and those will work. However, you end up with the bed cover, especially with this little slot that you've got to slide all your stuff down. And if you've got, say, a powered sub, it may be taller than your truck bed is deep, and now your bed cover won't work. Not to mention, you're always going to be trying to open it, that bit that it opens, and slide all the stuff to the tailgate and pull it down, and it's not going to be very fun. So it's not very practical, is it? Now the next three on the list start the more practical cars, the ones that you can actually go to bat with. The first one is the SUV. Now the SUV is great. The problems with the SUV, in my opinion, is you have a long way to lift up. So, some other cars on the list, we're not going to have that problem, but you get plenty of storage, you get it able to lock, you get it dry. So this is the kind of thing you're looking for. You know, you need back seats that fold down. Whether they fold down flat or not is another matter. I'm going to throw in here also, four-door sedans with trunks are not very good. I mean, there's nothing like trying to slide a keyboard through the trunk and through that little bitty hole that you get when you manage to lay your seats down. You know, it tends to be a two-man job with one guy lifting, the other guy pushing. It's no fun. It's not what you want. But the SUV definitely starts the more sensible of the options. Next, minivans. Now, at this point in the list, we start to reach a maximum level of practicality, and then we start to hit a decline on coolness. This is the low point, alright? So the minivan is one of the most practical that you can get. It's got tons of room. It's got removable seats. It has a bunch of seats. So if you want to take your gear and the band, you can do that. The minivan is fairly fuel efficient. The downside is it looks terrible, doesn't it? It's no fun to drive, all those kinds of things. However, we get to be cool a lot of the time when we're at our place, when we're playing, when we're on the internet, when we're doing this kind of stuff. So, how cool does your car need to be is up to you. The reason why I like the minivan better than I do the SUV is because in the minivan, you don't have to lift your gear up quite as high to get it into the back. And when you're dealing with heavy keyboards, I mean, some people going around with Leslie cabinets, big powered PA, or any kind of like tower sort of PA speaker thing, you're not going to want to lift that up very high. With the minivan, you can just get it up on the edge, slide it in, and you're done. Another note here of the minivan versus the SUV and the more practical cars is the minivan is going to be a bit more fuel efficient. And if you're going out and playing for $100 an hour away, that kind of thing matters. The last one, and what I think to be the most practical vehicle for musicians to drive, to carry the gear, to get to and fro, my favorite one is the station wagon. The station wagon is a little bit cooler than a minivan, also tends to get better gas mileage, can be more fun to drive, and has the same low loading height cargo space, if you will, and dang near as much or more room as the SUV. So I feel like the cool level can go up slightly at this point. You could have the old Woody station wagon if you wanted. Your gas mileage wouldn't be so good, but I like the European stuff. I like to buy the old ones. I just find that they're the most practical that you can get. Again, you need to have your stuff dry. It needs to be easy to load it into. It needs to be fuel efficient, and it needs to be able to lock. And you get all that with the station wagon, and you get plenty of seats. Some of them you can even have just one seat down, and the whole back loaded up, and the back passenger seats. You still have 3 seats for your 3-piece band to travel in one car, getting 30 miles to the gallon or better. So there you go. The station wagon, I think, is the most practical, but any of those last 3 will get by. Some of you may say, what about a crossover SUV and things like that? And to that I say, they're probably somewhere in between those 3 most practical, with some exceptions. Sometimes your crossover SUV is too small and it doesn't actually have any back to it, and then you put the seats down and you're almost into sort of like a 2-door hatchback kind of thing, which will work as long as you don't ever have to take anybody with you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and leave some comments and let me know what you think. What kind of cars do you like? Conversion vans are another great one. You can pack tons of gear. You can even pull a trailer, those kind of things, with one of those, and ride in quite a bit of comfort. So that's always a positive, but they're pretty expensive, pretty high on gas. Anyway, get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. I've been gone a little while. Basically, I ran out of stuff to say. So if you get down there and interact, we can help to come up with more videos that I can make and go back and forth on it. See you next time.